Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So we had technical difficulties today. I sat down and I made a video for you guys, and then when I was done, I discovered that my tablet screen capture didn't work. It was still on pause, even though I could swear that I started it. So unfortunately, that was useless. So here we go again. So yeah. As I always say when this happens, if I repeat myself, I am sorry because I can't remember what I talked about on the last recording versus the last video that I actually posted for you all. So, such is life. This sometimes happens. So here we go again. So I had 200 stitches completed. But yeah, I can't use any of them on the videos, so here we go again. So this will probably be my last video of the year. Yeah, because New Year's Day falls on a Sunday, and that's my normal upload day, but I'm gonna probably upload on the Tuesday instead, just because of the holidays. So you will get 2 videos this week, just not on the exact days you normally get them on. Yeah. So, no New Year's resolutions this year. I don't generally do them. I find when I want to make a change, I'll just make a change. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is. And yeah, I don't do an arbitrary because the calendar's turning. I mean, hey, if it works for you and you like doing it, go for it. And if it doesn't, don't feel bad that you're not doing it, you know? Yeah, I think as a general rule, the world can be too judgmental. Yeah, it's funny because I had a friend who said she doesn't like to go to the gym in January because everyone will think she's New Year's resolution working out, so she'll wait till the crowds thin out. I said, yeah, especially since a lot of those people are gonna quit by like January 9th, right? Yeah, they say there's always a surge in gym memberships because people either give them as like a gift, like a gym membership because somebody wanted one, or people start one because they decided that's their New Year's resolution, and then it just doesn't last. So yeah, I started doing my my walking, getting more steps in, like in the, over a year ago. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that. It's so much easier to do when it's nice outside, I do have to say. I mean, I do have my machine that I can do it indoors, but yeah. I mean, there's something about walking around outside and getting your fresh air, right? Yeah, it was funny. Somebody was talking about are you someone who can't stand having fans blowing on you? And I said, oh yeah, that's definitely me, right? Or people's breath on me, just And yeah, they said, why is it that like outdoors breezes are fine, but indoors is not? And it's like, yeah, you're right. That's exactly it. Fresh air, wind is nice, breeze is nice, but yeah, indoors is like, no, don't breathe on me. Don't blow fan air on me. In the summer, the fan has to be pointing. We have it at the foot of our bed, and it has to point at only my husband's side, and it can't have any on me because I cannot stand it. Yeah. For me, if it's super hot, rather than a fan, I'll go sleep in the basement where it's cooler. Oh well, as I say, at least with this stitching, I wasn't doing a tutorial. So I can just reshoot this, but yeah, it would have really sucked if it was one of my tutorials, like my starting a brand new project. I would have been really heartbroken if that happened. So yes, because I did one this month. People had asked, they wanted to see how I started a brand new project with my method on the diagonal, so I did that. So they got to see, you got to see the very last stitches on my last project, and then, yeah, the very first stitches on my new project. Oh, that's the wrong color. Yeah, trying to highlight. Okay. Ooh. Oh, goodness, pardon me. Lots of shades of blue here. Yeah, sometimes when you're stitching it, it's like, it looks so similar, like that it feels like, why am I bothering? But it does add the shading and depth. You just sometimes can't see it until you've passed that part and you're standing further away from it. Yeah, then you can. So the very top of this diagonal has reached the middle point, right in the middle of it. 5 stitches in, so yeah. I love my big projects, but it is kind of nice to do a small one every now and then. Yeah, I've been saying maybe I might add another smaller one in between some of my big projects. I don't know, but I have so many planned, which I showed on an update video, I think a couple of months ago. Yeah, I have like 5 Heaven and Earth designs. No supersized ones, but I mean, even their regular size is pretty big. So, and then I have another big one from Etsy, and I have the one I charted myself. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, this is the smallest project that I have planned by quite a bit. All my other projects are like 300,000 stitches or bigger, so yeah. But yeah, I've seen some of the supersized ones people do are like 700 or even 800,000 stitches. Like, wow. That is a huge commitment. But in the end, it's still just 1 X at a time, right? Yeah, okay. So yeah, the colors here are kind of going opposite the diagonal, so that means I end up changing colors quite often. But that's okay. Keeps things interesting, I guess. Yeah, and because I like to leave my needles threaded, it doesn't take that much more time to switch back and forth, I find. I saw one where somebody who does do it with just 1 needle, it's like, wow, okay, you're way more dedicated than me. I would not be able to do that. It would drive me crazy. But then I don't know, I have people who say having this many threaded would drive me crazy. So, you know, different strokes, whatever works for you. Do what works for you. Let's see if we can get this one out or not. Oh, we did. Excellent. Three, 4. Okay. All right, let's see how long this one is, if we're gonna park it or not. Oh yeah, that's a pretty decent length. So yeah, we got a pretty big snowfall here, and they got a pretty big snowfall in BC too. Like Vancouver got like 15 centimeters, which is just like unheard of for that area. You know, if they do get snow, they usually get like 1 or 2. So yeah, it's a mess. My husband was showing me a news clip they had where a bunch of people were in the bus lane. One guy was actually facing backwards because he must have spun around and slid over. Then the bus came over and they couldn't stop in time, and they hit the one guy, which meant about 6 cars in a row rear-ended each other. It was like, oh, ouch. That's a lot of damage. And I'm betting some of those cars in the middle were probably written off, because that means they got rear end damage and front end damage from rear ending the guys in front of them. So yeah, whew, sucks. Yeah, especially since the used car market is so wild right now. Because yeah, like they leased my husband's truck at work, and he was looking at buying it out, but they wanted, for a used one, they wanted only like 10,000 less than a brand new one. So it was kind of like, well, why bother? But that's because there's such a shortage, right? Yeah, that they said the waiting list for new vehicles is, 3-4 months, or sometimes up to a year, because yeah, nobody can get the components. So yeah, used cars are are selling for quite high right now. So yeah, I was really happy that we didn't have to replace mine when it got rear-ended last year. It was really close, right on the borderline, but thankfully, yeah. Because yeah, it doesn't have very high mileage because I don't drive it very much. So I'm hoping to drive it for another decade. Yeah, bought it used in 2013 and been driving it ever since. So yeah, next year it'll have been 10 years I had that vehicle, which doesn't seem like that long. Oh, always forgetting how much time has passed. Like somebody said, people say 10 years ago, and I'm still thinking the 90s instead of like, 2012. It's like, oh man, yeah, me too. Oh. Oh, pardon me. I'm not really that tired. I don't know why I'm so yawny today. But here we are. Okay, so now I have to head back over to the left-hand side and work our way out again. Yeah, 'cause that's just how I stitch. Yeah, so pretty soon it'll be time to take this out of the frame and do another update video for you all. The first one of 2023. Holy moly. Yeah, so in next year we'll get this one done for sure. And then we will get another one. We'll get Marvelous Garden. Well, Marvelous Garden's already started because I'm doing the background in the corner first. So, but that will become the focus piece later this year. And then we'll probably be working on that through the year after, I would think. Yeah, because my last big piece took me a year and 7 months. And then the Marvelous Garden is a bit more. It's over 300,000 stitches, but it has a lot less confetti than the Soulful Mediterranean Tranquility did. That one was almost relenting confetti, so that one took me quite a while. Was worth it. The detail was absolutely amazing, but yeah, it was a lot of work. Okay, let's see if we can get these. Oh, okay, very occasionally my needle actually went through that strand there. So that's why I had to unthread it so that I could get them apart. I don't want to be split through another part thread there. That would not be good. Yeah, so at the very bottom of this diagonal, I believe we have part of Keffi's face with, oh, I'm saying that right, with the Keaton mask on. Yeah, you never get to see him as an adult in this game, he said. I was kind of disappointed at the end credits. You know, it shows the wedding scene, and it shows her in her wedding dress and everything, and she sort of reaches out to take his hand, I guess, but then you never get to see him. So I don't know if that was like they wanted to leave it to your imagination, or they just didn't want to have to bother rendering another character. But yeah. So yeah, there's been some fan art online of people's idea of what would he look like as a grown-up. Oh, that is the wrong one. Yep. Look at that. Silly me. Did a sideways stitch there. That is definitely not what I was trying to do. I picked up the one below it, that's why, and not the correct thread. Yeah, stitching this is kind of making me want to replay Majora's Mask. Quite enjoyed that. And look out for some of the Easter eggs I've recently discovered are in it. Yeah, they put so much detail. Yeah, this was kind of interesting, the story. Like, the world is ending, and yet people just keep on, you know, living their ordinary lives. Going to market and milking cows and, you know, running an inn and stuff, yeah. Okay, this is a longer carry, but not too far. So I'm gonna get what I can out of this thread. I will probably have to add another thread. Yeah, because I've got one down here, but I don't want to close stuff in, so I'll probably be adding another one over up here. Yeah, because I'm thinking I'm going to get these 2 stitches, and that'll probably be it. Yeah, I will be out of thread. Yeah, I was saying even the detail they put in the Majora's Mask, like the little cow statues, the heads move. So like if it's on a counter and Link rolls into it, the cow's head will wobble. Or when the ground shakes because the moon is falling, the heads will wobble. Yeah. Yeah, I had one friend who said actually she played that game when she was a kid and it gave her anxiety. Like, oh yeah, I guess I could see that. Because yeah, the moon is literally falling. And it's got a creepy face on it too. I didn't play it till I was an adult, so yeah. But if I played it as a kid, it might have, yeah. It might have disturbed me, who knows. See how much light we get. I was stitching at the best lighting time of the day to make my video, but then we had that technical mishap, so hopefully the light is still good for you guys. I turned my lamp on, so hopefully it's still nice and clear for you all. I guess this will be a bit of an experiment to see. Yeah, that is one thing I don't like about winter is the lack of light. Okay. Oh yeah, my piggy. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's getting impatient. She wants her veg now. Yeah, she's slowed down a bit, but not a lot. Like she doesn't popcorn anymore, because they do that when they're happy or excited. They jump with all 4 feet off the ground at once, and she did that until she was almost 7. But I think yeah, she's getting too old, and it's not comfortable for her to do that anymore. Yeah, when they get older, their hip bones kind of start to jut out more, and it's harder for them to walk. So. But yeah, she's still happy to squeak and stuff at us, so. Yeah, my sister-in-law, she had one. She was staying with us for a while, and she had an older piggy, and it was funny, when she popcorned, her feet didn't actually leave the ground. She just sort of went bloop, and like this ripple kind of went through her, kind of like if you were poking Jello. And I was like, what's she doing that for? And she said, oh, that's her version of popcorning, yeah. She's excited, but she's not going to jump that high, so. It's funny because sometimes they give a little squeak when they do it too, kind of when they jump. It's pretty cute. Well, I guess they are rodents, so they're related to bunnies and such, right? Okay. There's one that got unthreaded. Probably that one I unthreaded earlier. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, I find usually by the time I start to get too many needles on threads, I'm at the edge anyway of the diagonal. I'm parking things and setting them aside, so then, yeah, I don't have that problem anymore. Okay, back to the left again. Yeah, we're having a bit of a cold snap right now. We've got an extreme wind chill warning in effect. I said the one benefit of that is it means it's generally too cold to snow at that point. We've had a couple times when it snowed when it was that cold, but it's rare. Yeah. Yeah, so like I say, I usually don't work in rows, but this area is just kind of working out that way. Oh, I had a feeling that it might have unthreaded itself. I was hoping it had not. But no such luck. Ah, well, I'd rather that than a knot, that's for sure. Knots are the worst. I wonder if this is the mask salesman's other hand, possibly. We'll see. Or maybe not, maybe it's further this way. I can't remember exactly how this drawing goes. Oh, look at that, silly me. Now I went straight down again instead of across, just like once the last time I went across instead of the proper diagonal. Yeah, I'm gonna have 2 threads for this color here, I think. Yeah, that's just the way it's going to work out. Okay, sorry, my dishwasher's being kind of noisy there. I was expecting to be done filming by now, but yeah, things got messed up, so this might be a shorter session today since I'm losing the light here. I want things to be nice and clear for you all to see, so yeah. Okay, 939. Okay. Quite a lot of threads there. There we are. Yeah, I find when the colors tend to be shaped where they're going opposite the diagonal, I end up with more threads because I don't like to jump back and forth. So, whereas if they're going the same ways, you can kind of do one and back up and then over, do it and back up, so you can kind of use one strand. So that's just the way it works out. You could, of course, decide to just jump around and use one strand if that's what you prefer. There's no rules. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to restart my tablet too. It's being a bit laggy. It's been a while since I rebooted it. Man, the snow's really squeaky out there today. I guess it's not quite packed down yet, so yeah, it tends to do that. Oh, someone's getting a delivery. I don't think it's us. Ooh, yeah, I feel bad for anybody who's got to be outside today. It is not a nice one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I guess delivery people are pretty busy this time of year. Yeah, I didn't cancel my meal box this year at Christmas. I did last year and then I kind of regretted it. I figured the delivery was far enough away from Christmas that I was still making Christmas dinner stuff on actual Christmas Day. So sometimes I make the big dinner Christmas Eve, sometimes I make it Christmas Day. It's kind of just how it works out with leftovers and such. So this year it was on actual Christmas Day. Yeah. Yeah, but he kind of stopped in the middle of the road there. But I think maybe he was afraid if he pulled over too much, he might get stuck in the snowdrift. So, oh, dropped a needle. Oh man, I dropped one the other day and I could not find it. I went all over with a magnet, and luckily my husband found it, not with his foot. He said all of a sudden, "Oh, look, there's a needle here sticking out of the carpet." I said, "Oh, thank goodness. I'm glad you found that, because I had looked everywhere for it." I mean, I have plenty of needles, but I don't like to leave them on the floor because I don't want people to get hurt, right? Yeah. I had one stuck in my slipper a couple weeks ago. Thankfully, only my slipper, and it didn't stick me, so. But yeah, that could have been more painful, that's for sure. But yeah, it actually went like right through the fabric of my slipper and thankfully missed my toe and everything. So it was when I was taking off my slippers that night, I felt something sort of brush against my toe, and I looked down and oh my gosh, there's a needle stuck through it. Yay. Ugh. Okay. Okay. All right, so getting some more blocks of color here. Keep things moving along. There we go. Okay. $7.92. Got a shorter piece here, so that'll work just nicely. Oh, we passed 12%. Excellent. Yeah, it only takes a day or two now to get 1% as opposed to on the last My last project, it took like 5 or 6 days to get 1%. Because it was a lot more stitches, yeah. Actually, this will be enough for at least one more. It's longer than I thought. Well, rather that than shorter than I thought, and it runs out, right? Okay. Yeah, so I kind of worked through the last bunch, and now it's sort of the next bunch of threads. Oh, neck is starting to get a bit uncomfortable. It's been bothering me the last few days. I probably need to go to the chiropractor, but I've been putting it off. Don't like to go unless I really, really have to. Oh, somebody's dog is extremely happy they're home. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these here are long pieces, but only need one stitch done. Oh, yeah, let's try not to sew other threads into my working thread. That's not so good. Yeah, quite a bit of this color in this area here. Make sure I grab the correct thread, because yeah, there are quite a few that are very similar in shade. Yeah, the neighbors' dogs are pretty little, so they would disappear into the snowdrift pretty easy. Oh, gotta watch for them. That one is threaded. Let's see if we can get it to come out, which we did. Perfect. Yeah, I think this tablet definitely needs a reboot pretty soon. Yeah, I found this appears to be stitching up a bit darker than the mock-up, so we'll see. Hopefully, it's still like the finished result there. Yeah, there's no substitute for seeing it actually stitched up. I like how a lot of the designer companies will have galleries of finished pieces, so you can see if someone else has stitched the same piece. You can see what it looks like, because yeah, there's just no substitute for that. It's kind of nice actually if you stitch RDC patterns and you're in the Facebook group, at least. I don't know, it might work other parts of the internet, but anyway, if you are the first one to stitch a pattern, they will give you a reward, but it goes in the gallery, which is really nice. Yeah, I got one already that was an award from that. So yeah, I'm just about to lose the light here, so I think I'm going to call this a day here. Sorry that is a shorter session due to technical difficulties. The next one should be a full-length session. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a nice New Year's, and I will see you back here in January. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.